What's up guys, I'm Simon here with Z1 Off-Road, and today we're going to be swapping our white D41 Frontier over to our Heim outer steering conversion. So this truck has our OEM parts solution on it, which is great, but we're going to be driving this thing even harder, so we want to go ahead and beef that tie rod setup up. So that's exactly what this product's going to do. Basically, this is going to work with our OEM inner tie rod and provide us with a much heftier outer tie rod. It's going to enhance our steering feel a little bit and just be a much more robust solution for some hard driving out on the trails. We're not going to replace the inner tie rod. We actually really like the OEM inner tie rod setup on these. The geometry on that is great, and the OEM boot does an awesome job of keeping debris and mud, anything like that, out of your steering rack. So instead, what we're going to do is put this really nice outer on there and we'll be good to go. While this is going on our Titan Swap truck, we're actually going to offer these for OEM length on D40, D41, Xterra, Pathfinder, all that. So regardless of your setup, if you got a Titan as well, we're going to have an outer tie rod solution for you so you can keep your truck nice and solid out on the trails. All right guys, so we are about ready to install our Heim outers, and this is what your kit is going to come with out of the box. We've got our Titan Swap length body here. We have a few different lengths available based on what your setup is, but since we're Titan Swap, we got our Titan Swap length, and this is for the D41. We'll also have D40. Your kit's going to come with a pre-assembled Heim here, so this has a nice dust cover on it. And this is going to thread into the end of the body here. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and run this jam nut all the way up until it's just about to touch the boot right there. And then I'll go ahead and assemble this. Now, theoretically, you could use this as a double adjuster. So you could spin the body and get this to extend if you want to do your alignment that way. But I'm not going to do that. We don't need to do that because we can still turn the inner tie rod by itself. So instead, what I'm going to do is go ahead and lock this up. So put this on here, and then just a second, I'll get a wrench and tighten these together so that this stays put. I'll probably even throw on some blue Loctite just since I don't intend to make any adjustments there. So I'm actually going to do that real quick. Got my blue Loctite here. Just going to run this up. And right about there is good. Then we'll grab some wrenches. Actually, I'm going to do that on the car. So once we've got this on the car and we're doing our alignment, I'm going to go ahead and snug these up and tighten up this jam nut. So the next thing you'll see, this is our inner jam nut. This one sleeves the inner tie rod just a little bit to provide a little bit more protection. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this up into place. Oops. All right, now we can thread our outer on. I'll pull the knuckle out of the way. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball this to about the right length, and then of course we'll do an alignment afterwards. So there we go. I think this should be about right. Right about there. We'll tighten this up. Now, for those with OCD who think these need to line up perfectly, if that's your preference, you can do that by making the adjustment down here to get these flats to line up perfectly. Now, we will probably do that on the alignment rack, so I'm not going to worry about that just yet, but it is possible for those wondering. And if not, you just go ahead and jam that up. So should be good. And then this is our, we got our Heim down here. It's going to feed up into the knuckle. So go ahead and work that close. We can kind of get that closer by hand. So actually, I'm going to need a little bit more length here, so we'll back this out just a bit. Just a bit more. All right, and that's that. So you're going to make sure that the cone down here seats up in there. And this is a distorted thread lock nut. So you'll need a impact or wrench, something to get that down. And the body down here is threaded. So essentially this bolt is already threaded into this piece. So I'm gonna make sure I do all the turning up here and not down on this bolt. But I can hold this bolt, this bolt down here. I can hold this to keep this from spinning, but I wanna make sure that I actually do the spinning on this guy up here. So I'm gonna grab a wrench, hold this in place, and then I'm gonna send this down with an impact, and this side will be just about good to go. So I got my adjustable wrench, gonna keep this from spinning. And then we'll double check the torque on that in just a second, but that should do it. And then, of course, jamming up. So snug this up, and we'll snug this up, and we'll be ready to at least drive over to the alignment rack where we can dial this thing in and lock it up for good. We got an adjustable wrench on there. Adjustable wrench there. All right. All right, that should hold it for now. Cool. So we're gonna repeat that exact same process on the other side. And yeah, we'll be good to go. All right, guys, so we just got finished installing our Heim outer tie rod conversion for our Titan Swap D41 Frontier. Like I said, we've got this available for just about every truck out there, or every Nissan truck out there. So if you want a set for your truck, go check it out at z1offroad.com. And now we're gonna head over to the alignment rack and get this thing dialed in and hit some trails.